Hey guys, so I hope you have seen my previous videos. So in this video, we will talk about encryption concepts, which is very important for S3. If you see, we have already mentioned, we talked about buckets, we talked about objects, we talked about folders, and we saw the permission policies. We talked about versioning in the last video. Now we're going to talk about versioning. Yeah, I mean not versioning. I'm sorry. We are going to talk about encryption. So these things we are good with this, and right now we're going to talk about versioning now. Okay, I mean sorry, encryption. So what is encryption? Okay, so let me quickly jump to the concepts first, then I will slowly touch upon. So where is my whiteboard? Ah, okay, cool. We got the whiteboard open. Okay, guys. So understand encryption. I would say basically from the logical side, there are two kinds of encryptions. Okay, one is encryption. Okay, encryption at rest. Okay, and the other one is encryption in transit, or you can say flight. Okay, so just want to make it real neat. So what I'll do is encryption, ENC, encryption at rest, and that one is encryption in transit or flight. So these are all the two encryptions we have, which we are going to talk about. Okay, before this, what is encryption? So encryption is nothing but, for example, so if there is a file, okay, there is a file A. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to apply some keys plus some algorithm which will protect the, it's like a lock which will protect the file. Okay, if somebody is, some hacker is trying to open the file, he will not be able to, even if he's trying to open the file, okay, he will not be able to view the content, because it's all, it will, if they open the file, it will be all like gibberish format. It's all like numbers and other things will be different. Okay, so we will do a demo on that. So right now we have two kinds of encryption from the concept wise. Okay, one is encryption at rest and encryption in transit. So where will you see encryption at rest and encryption in transit? Say for example, this laptop, okay, which I'm using right now. Sometimes whenever you're working in some sort of office laptop or something, okay, if you go to your C drive here, this PC, so here there will be a lock symbol. So it means your hard drive is protected, your hard drive is encrypted. Okay, if somebody is trying to open up your laptop, or because of theft or something, but still they cannot log into your laptop, there is something called BitLocker encryption key. Yeah, so those kind of things, it's all protected, and those kind of things we call it as encryption at rest. Yeah, so mainly that is for just to protect from the thief and theft, those kind of things. We can use it as encryption at rest. Okay, and what is encryption? So encryption in transit. Okay, now if you see, this is one person, okay, who's trying to connect to some SBI bank. Okay, so he's trying some a net banking, and SBI bank is also responding with something. So this entire connectivity is full encrypted. So if any hacker is trying to access this connection, they cannot view or they cannot see the data properly. Okay, so this is what we call it as what? Encryption in transit. And transit means it's flowing. Okay, see, encryption in transit. And that one is encryption at rest. So this is the main concept which you have to understand. There are two encryption approaches. Okay, one is encryption at rest and the other one is encryption in transit. Now there are some keywords which you have to understand in encryption. Okay, so what are the keywords? Now we will talk about the keywords. The first one is okay, now the first one is you have to understand what you mean by plain text. The second one is you need to understand algorithm. The third one is key. And the fourth one is ciphertext. Okay, now when I say plain text, don't think like it's a text. Maybe it's any kind of files, any kind of plain files, any kind of normal files. Okay, now what happens is algorithm is nothing but there are different types of algorithm to encrypt any file. Okay, for example, there is something called AES algorithm. Okay, and the other one is called DES, and a lot of algorithms we have. Okay, and the other one is called blowfish. So a lot of algorithms are there, so they are using. Now key is like a password. Okay, and ciphertext your encrypted output file. Okay, now understand this. So now the cycle goes like this. So what happens is so you have a plain text. Okay, this is a file. This is a file A which you want to encrypt, and then okay, this one will go with the algorithm. For example, I'm using AES algorithm. Okay, and then I'm using key as well for password. Okay, so I'm just mapping these two things. Okay, and with the file A coming here, then output will be your file A will be a protected file which will have a log symbol like this, and we call this as a what? Ciphertext. Okay, I hope you guys understood. So there are four keywords you have to understand. One is plain text, algorithm, key, and ciphertext. Okay, so plain text is your source file which you want to encrypt. Maybe it is a document or any kind of files. Then you have to choose your key and algorithm to encrypt it, and then the output would be in the ciphertext format. Yeah, so let's do something. Now there are two types of encryption. Okay, literally there are two types of encryption, which is okay, there are two types of encryption. Okay, now the types of encryption is symmetric encryption and asymmetric encryption. Okay, now we will talk about what is symmetric encryption, what is asymmetric encryption. Okay, so symmetric encryption, let's talk about that first. So here we go. So I'm going to talk about symmetric encryption now. Okay, say for example, this is me, Samir. Okay, and this is Zulfi. Okay, now Samir wants to send some file to Zulfi which should be protected. Okay, and we have a lot of hackers here. Okay, so a lot of hackers are here. These guys are hackers. So Samir is trying to send some file A. This is file A. Okay, cool. Now what happens is, what he will do is Samir will Okay, Samir will take file A, and also he will take key, which is nothing but the password, which I've already said. Okay, now he will combine something called algorithm. So if I say something, I told you, right, there is something called algorithm. So algorithm, he is using an algorithm called AES 256 algorithm. So there are a lot of algorithms. So AES is one of the famous one. Okay, so once he does all these things, what happens is, now once you add all these things, then the output will come. What would be the output? So output would be a cipher text. Okay, now cipher text will be sent to, so cipher text will be sent to him, sent to Zulfi with the key. So key and ciphertext will be sent. What Zulfi will do, Zulfi will, whatever encrypted right now, Zulfi will decrypt it or unencrypt it, and then with the same key. Okay, whatever key it has been sent, so he will use the same. For example, the key will go, this key will go, and also the ciphertext. So he will get it, and then he will decrypt it. Now the problem is how he will be sending the key. That is a big issue, because if somebody hacks the key, then that's it. Then it is it is compromised. So symmetric key is symmetric is like this. Only one key will be used to encrypt and decrypt. Only one, or you can say same key. Only same key will be used to encrypt and decrypt. So this is a concept of symmetric key. So just make sure you understand this. So Samir is sending a plain file, and then he is adding a key with that. Key is like a password, and then he is choosing some algorithm called AES 256. He is combining all these things. Then the output, you are getting a encrypted file. For example, this is a ciphertext file, and then he is sending it to Zulfi. Okay, so for Zulfi to decrypt it, he needs the same ciphertext, and also he needs a key, the same key which Samir has encrypted it. He needs to do that. Okay, so this is very, very clear. Okay, so let's not move forward before I explain. Let me type a couple of things here. Okay, so you will understand. Okay, see, first thing is you have encryption at rest, and then encryption in transit. Okay, you have to clear that concept. Now the next thing is you should understand symmetric. Okay, before that you need to understand plain text means what. Second one is you need to understand key means what. Then the third one is you need to understand algorithm. Then the fourth one is we need to understand ciphertext. Okay, now we have, what is next? Now we have symmetric encryption, and then asymmetric encryption. Okay, make sure you're clear with this. Now what symmetric encryption does, as I've already explained to you, just see that video. Okay, now symmetric encryption will use the same key to encrypt and decrypt both. Okay, understand that. What do you mean by encryption transit? This is like, from source to destination. For example, you're sending the traffic from one place to another place using your HTTPS websites. Those kind of things we call it as encryption transit. I've already explained you the example. Okay, so these four things are very important for the encryption to work: plain text, key, algorithm, and ciphertext. So you have a file. This is a file. Okay, so you have a file, and then 1 minute. Okay, so you have a file, and then what you're going to do is you are going to add a key plus algorithm into this file, and you're going to get an output called ciphertext, which is an encrypted file, and then you can send it to Zulfi. Now Zulfi, what he will do, he needs this key, so you have to send the key to Zulfi, so he will take it up further.